Hi, my name is Kristen Cummins, and I also go by Crystal. Now, I'm going to be reading a few things about my life, but first I'd like to start out by telling you I was diagnosed with grand mal epilepsy at 9 months. I had my first seizure at 6 months old. So, throughout my life, I've become used to recovering from seizures, recovering from something, which has actually been a benefit, and I'm grateful for in some ways. After trying to go to college for 10 years in 1994, a college professor advised me that I might never graduate because of my memory problems. I was devastated by this, and at the time I believed that it was mostly because of side effects of medications that I had been taking throughout my life for my epilepsy. Now I know differently. However, at the time, there was much research revealed that before people used prescription drugs, we treated epilepsy with various herbs, and these didn't usually cause the same damage to the brain as many modern techniques of care. Believing that patients should have more access to and knowledge of alternative therapy options, I decided to help increase our community's education and capacity around using some medicinal herbs. For over 3.5 years, I worked at helping to change these regulations. I organized benefits, I facilitated classes, I registered voters, I totally devoted myself to helping create change and help for others. Now, in 2003, while I was changing medications, I had several seizures, one of which resulted in what has been seen as a traumatic brain injury. I came home 3 days later with 5 staples holding my head together. Even the focus that was required to clean a counter was a challenge, and I could no longer even take care of my seizure dog. Luckily, again, I'm familiar with recovering, and the determination to survive until things make sense again is automatic for me. Along my journey to this recovery, I've learned a lot about myself and my strengths, especially my faith that I have knowledge and skills important to share with the world to help others work through their difficult circumstances. First, after my injury, I had to reconstruct the ability to take care of my personal needs, my health care, and finally learn how to budget again on a small income. It took me 3 years to get SSI. Eventually, I was able to reestablish myself socially. I have been part of, for the last 7 years, a group which has also given me many tools to help me along this journey. Eventually, I relearned how to understand and participate in conversations, and finally, in this last year, I've confronted my fears of failing at school again and returned to school and been a teacher on a donation basis. But I've actually been teaching, and I've confronted some of the biggest fears I've ever had, and I know that many of the tools I've used to help get back to where I am, I can help others use to help them get their lives back together. I really want to do this, and I would also like to network with others who are inspired by helping people put their lives back together and learning about new ways of how. So let's put our brains together and support brain research. Visit www.neurofilmfestival.com.